Okay, how do I even start this video or a video like this? If you don't know who I am, I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm Jammy Hero. I am a Battlefield and VR content creator. Very small, but very positive in what I like to put out. I like reviewing and talking about things that I like because I find it no fun to talk about the things that I don't like. And one of the things that I do like is Battlefield 2042. And since its inception, since its launch, it's had a lot of backlash, a lot of attacks to devs, and a lot of negative feedback towards the dev team and towards the game. And it's all come to a head recently with a blog post from DICE on Twitter, and we're going to talk about all of this drama today. And I don't usually do this, but I kind of want to weigh in and kind of talk about the whole situation, so let's get straight into it. Now, I don't really have a script for this. I've got a couple of notes that I want to follow over, so let's start with something that we need to clear up, and that is that this entire thing of supposed toxic creators being banned and the community being told to be more accepting and not harassing devs was originally thought to have come about with the squad management announcement. Now, I'm here to tell you that if you've heard that, that's false. This whole thing is not just because of the squad management announcement and the removal of the kick feature and people kicking off about that. We've been told in public Discord servers by the devs and the community managers that isn't the case. It simply isn't. So if you've heard that narrative being spun that this is all because of this one little squad management thing, it's not right. But essentially, DICE came out with a post about community guidelines and telling players to be respectful towards devs, to stop harassing them. Now, this tweet got a lot of quote retweets and retweets in general and a lot of replies, and it was very mixed. Some people like myself were supportive of this. Other creators like Ghost Gaming, Rawula, Flakfire, Losi, all of the lot, we are very supportive of what DICE is trying to do with communication and don't really like the fact that a lot of people are abusing that to send death threats and harassing developers. I don't know who needs to hear this, but attacking devs is not okay. Never. No matter what the product they put out, they are people, they are human beings, and harassment and attacks towards them is not part of Battlefield or its community, and it's not what Battlefield should be. I mean, we've seen launches that are pretty terrible. I mean, Battlefield 4 was unplayable for a very long time. 2042 came out in a state that a lot of people weren't happy with, but any such thing as that is no excuse to go harassing devs over it. And the simple fact is, we have no idea what's going on behind closed doors. The devs are openly transparent about a lot of things. This blog post and the reasoning behind it wasn't one of them. Just that they had been targeted and harassed. We don't know exactly by whom they're directing this at, but there have been a couple of creators banned, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So yeah, we have no idea what's going on behind closed doors at DICE, and I think that's important when considering commenting on this whole situation, is that you probably don't know what the reasoning behind this is. I don't know, we can assume all we want, but there are too many unknowns in this situation to make a proper and clear judgment about whether this was the right decision or not in terms of bringing up this whole situation. I stand by the fact that any harassment towards devs is something that needs to be stopped as soon as possible. But I know a lot of people think that this whole thing is them being very soft as developers. I do not agree with that, and we all just need to take a step back as a community, and if you truly love Battlefield, you'll need to see what's going to better the game and the franchise in the future, and that is, treating the devs as humans. Feel free to feed back to them over and over about what you want, but do it in a respectful way and a constructive way. Criticism is great, it drives games forward, and it's drive 2042 forward. Most of the changes that have come in to do with quality of life have been because of our feedback, and the devs do appreciate that. They've stated that time and time again, but doing it in a harassing manner is not the way to go about things. No matter your stance on Battlefield at the moment, whether you hate 2042 or love it, or even if you want to get onto the next game as soon as possible, chances are these are the devs that are going to be making that next game, and we'll only get the game we wish for, whether that's the ultimate state of 2042 or Battlefield 7, via constructive criticism, and harassing devs is going to close more avenues than it's going to open. That is probably the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this video if you are one of the people who is sending death threats at these developers at every opportunity you get, whenever they make a live community post or open the Discord server for people to come talk. If you are sending hate and death threats to these people, chances are they're going to close off those avenues of communication, and you're no longer going to get your ideas heard if you're a player who actually wants to give constructive criticism. The devs are going to be more likely to listen if we treat them with respect than if we hurl abuse at them, and ultimately, they're people. It's just not a very nice thing to do, let's be honest. This whole thing also kind of applies to the creators that have been banned with temporary bans. Now, I'm not going to name any names, you probably know who has been banned if you follow them, and I'm not going to directly comment on those situations, but what I want to say is that This is also a case where we don't know what's going on behind closed doors as well. I mean, these creators can share whatever they want about the banning situations, and they can withhold information about the banning situations, and their audience will be none the wiser. Not saying that this is something that they would do, but it's something to consider nonetheless. Ultimately, DICE aren't going to reveal maybe private DMs to devs from creators who have been, harassing them, because that's probably a breach in a contract somewhere. But the nature of this leads to too many unknowns to make a clear judgment on the whole scenario. Anyway, my whole message during this model rant today is just be respectful to the devs, give your constructive criticism, do not harass them, don't harass creators for liking or disliking the game. Sure, tell creators to maybe step back a little and take a look at the franchise and the team as a whole if they are being hateful and harassing, because that's just not what we want on the battlefield. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy this little video just on my thoughts of the whole situation. I hope we can move forward from this now. Let's get on to Season 5, back with the cool Easter egg hunts, the new map, vehicles and weapons. Let's all move on. Anyway, the pressing topic over with. I'm going to be back with Resident Evil 8 VR, hopefully on Tuesday maybe, we'll see how that goes. The game is still terrifying me more and more, it's got even worse somehow, and I can only play it in 20-minute installments because I have a panic attack every time, so look forward to that. Once again, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.